Hey everyone, today we're going to dig into something that can absolutely make or break a construction project. And no, it's not the steel, the concrete, or the glass. We're talking about compliance, permits, and that mountain of paperwork that comes along with them. It might not be the most exciting part of the job, but trust me, getting this right is the secret to actually making a profit. So let me ask you a question. What's the single costliest part of any project you're working on? Your mind probably goes straight to materials or labor, right? But what if I told you the real budget killer, the thing that quietly drains your profits, is the paperwork, that endless chase for permits and approvals? All right, so here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to tackle what I like to call the necessary evil of construction permits. Then we'll get real about the high cost of what happens when you don't comply. After that, we'll talk about how to get from total chaos to being in control. And finally, we'll look at how digitalizing your workflow ties it all together. Okay, first up, construction permits. They have a reputation in the industry, and it's not always a good one. Let's pull back the curtain on this really complex world and figure out what we're actually up against. So let's get on the same page. What is a construction permit, really? Well, at its heart, it's the official green light from your local government to either build something new or change an existing structure. It's their stamp of approval saying, yep, we've looked at your plans and they're safe and follow all our local rules. You literally can't build without one. And here's where it starts to get tricky. It is almost never just one permit. You've got four main types: commercial for businesses, multifamily for apartments, residential for single homes, and then all the specific trade permits for things like electrical and plumbing. A single large project? Yeah, you could easily need a whole stack of these across different categories. And just look at the journey to get a single one of those permits. It's a lot. You start with research, then you submit everything. Then it goes into review, where maybe the planning department, the fire department, and the engineering department all have to take a look. Any one of them can kick it back to you for revisions. It's only after everyone has signed off that you get that approval. You can see how every single step here is a potential delay. So when you multiply that complexity across all of the different permits you need, the chance for something to go wrong just skyrockets. And that is exactly when a simple paperwork problem can morph into a full-blown financial disaster. The most obvious penalty for getting it wrong? Fines. And we are not talking about a slap on the wrist here. Non-compliance fines can start in the thousands and climb all the way into the millions of dollars. That's enough to completely wipe out any profit on a project. But honestly, the fines are just the beginning. The cost of just the delays from permit problems is unbelievable. Think about this. The average contractor loses almost $500,000 every single year, just from projects being stalled while they wait on paperwork. That's pure lost time and productivity. And where does all that time go? Well, this chart says it all. A massive chunk of your team's day is just eaten up by chasing down and tracking permits by hand. We're talking about compliance officers spending up to 60% of their time on this stuff. That's time they're not spending on, their actual job. So it's really important to know why this stuff happens. This table lays it out pretty clearly. You see common failures like having incomplete documents or relying on manual reporting. The lesson is obvious. You need clear digital records that are ready for an audit at any time. The solution is moving away from scattered files and emails to a centralized system that gives you real visibility and control. Okay, so that's the chaos. And that brings us to the turning point in our talk. How do we get from that chaos to being in control? It's all about adopting a more systematic, professional approach to managing compliance. The solution really is in a concept from the world of project management. It's called a project management office, or PMO. Just think of it like a command center for all your projects. Its only job is to standardize how you do things and make sure everyone is on the same page. Applying that mindset to compliance, it's a total game changer. And I mean, just look at the difference here. It is night and day. On the left, you have the old way. It's a chaotic mess of spreadsheets, emails, and just constantly putting out fires. But the new way, on the right, it's built on a single, central platform with automated reporting and proactive management. You're building a system instead of just reacting to problems. So you're sold on the new way, right? But how do you actually make it happen? Well, the final step is pretty clear. You've got to digitalize your workflow. This is where the idea becomes a reality. The real power of going digital is its simplicity. A single platform becomes your one source of truth. It holds every permit application, every document, every deadline, and every conversation, all in one spot. That means no more digging through old email chains or shared folders. Your whole team is always looking at the same, up-to-date information. And just so you know, this whole explainer on getting a handle on construction compliance is brought to you by Lementai. So look, if you are tired of trying to run complex projects using messy spreadsheets and chaotic WhatsApp groups, it is absolutely time to digitize your workflow. You can check out how Lementai can help you do that and even start for free over at lementai.com. So I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Take a really honest look at how you're doing things right now. If your compliance process isn't a strength, if it's not something you're confident in, could it actually be your single biggest, most expensive hidden risk?